the Grassroots effort. I'd like to introduce Doug Victor, who's kind of hanging out around the corner there, but bring him on in. So Doug, you're a member of the Providence Preservation Society's Festival of Historic Houses Committee. That's a mouthful. And
It certainly is.
You're a resident of Upper Elmwood. So we're going to
Northern Elmwood, as we often call it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit today about Upper Elmwood Historic District and just a little bit about the community, how there really was a grassroots effort to preserve the historic architecture within the neighborhood. So thanks so much for joining me today on Go Local
You're very
Live.
welcome.
So we're in the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center, and thanks for coming in today. Appreciate you being here today. So why don't you just tell me, we'll start off by talking a little bit about the Festival of Historic Houses.
Well, the Festival of Historic Houses is something that has been happening for, I think, about 45 years with the Providence Preservation Society. And each year, I think they've done maybe 36 years of those 45. And each year they look at a different area of the city to highlight. And what is highlighted is certainly our wonderful architecture that we find in both the downtown and various neighborhoods in Providence. And also, kind of digging in beyond the architecture, like, how does preservation of our buildings in Providence serve to make a healthier, more vibrant economy in our city also. So I think there's a connection in there. I think the helm of the Preservation Society, Brent Runyon, he has a wonderful vision, and I think it reflects the mayor's idea of One Providence, really to attend to the neighborhoods, not just the historic districts in certain parts of the city, but all through the city, and really celebrate the diversity of our architecture from the different periods. At the same time, to celebrate the diversity of the people who are inhabiting these pieces of architecture and these homes in our neighborhoods. As you may know, the Elmwood neighborhood is being featured this year. So we have a variety of different kinds of people, even living within the Northern Elmwood Historic District, but certainly within the Elmwood area, certainly within the south side of Providence. And this area has been a portal for immigration for many, many years. And I think if we look historically back at the neighborhood, it was really the mid-18th century where wealthy industrialists were looking to have estates. So they looked around, and many of them began to move to what were the suburbs of the city at this point, and that was on the south side of the city. There were some farms there. There wasn't much development there. Elmwood became the wealthiest neighborhood in Providence at one point in the mid to late 1800s, and we have all different kinds of periods of architecture there, and going up to architecture being built today. We have new homes being built. It's very interesting. So we have a very mixed bag of the kinds of architecture that exists in the Northern Elmwood Historic District. So to really celebrate this as an opportunity for people to come out and to take a walk through our neighborhood. And many of us had conversations, and I contacted Brent Runyon of PPS and said, hey, what do you think about bringing the festival to Elmwood this year? Yes, come over here, exactly. And I have some ideas. So we met and we talked about that, and we pulled in the Knight Memorial Library on Elmwood Avenue into the whole thinking of how this could be played out. So Knight Memorial Library on Elmwood Avenue is a historic building, and in 2024 it'll be celebrating its 100th anniversary. So, and it was built by an architect, John Tilton, a New York library architect, and it is very significant. And it's one of the Providence Community Library's branches. And it's a very significant piece of architecture, the most significant on the whole of Elmwood Avenue. And so that has come to fruition. So registration is going to be at the library, and we will have we'll have some events on the lawn, At the same time, the Friends of Knight Memorial Library have put together a used book sale, and we have a room down. Volumes of books set up like a regular bookstore by genre. We have top quality used books, mostly from 50 cents to $2.
Oh, that's fun. So you guys have a lot of activities going on
We
besides,
have a lot of
besides
activities.
taking the tours of the home.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about, because it's not only the Knight Memorial Library,
Right.
but talk to me a little bit about the Knight family, because their home itself
Exactly.
is pretty neat. I mean, there's significance behind the home with the Knight family.
Yes, there is. So the original Knight estate was on Elmwood Avenue, just next door to the library, and the Knight family owned a huge tract of land there. In about 100 years ago, a little more than 100 years ago, the Knight family, they were textile industrialists. So sometimes if I talk about the library, I say, well, what might your underwear have to do with Knight Memorial Library? Which is kind of like people kind of look,
People are like,
and I go, okay,
where is he going
where
with
is he going with
this?
this? So I said, they were the predecessors of a company that has been named Fruit of the Loom. So everybody,
and I just learned this today.
Everybody
This is so
knows.
fascinating.
Everybody knows Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of history there. So the Knight
cool.
So the Knight family, they actually stimulated the first library in Elmwood, which was called the Elmwood Public Library, that has about 105 years ago, and it was based in a fire station. And the members of the Knight family and their friends went around and they asked for donations. So they got $1, $2, and they bought books and started a library on the top floor of this fire station on Elmwood Avenue. The building is no longer there. Unfortunately, we lost so many beautiful architectural buildings. And it's really time for us in our neighborhoods to say, okay, let's not lose any more buildings of significance in our neighborhood,
Yeah.
because we lose it, it erodes the city, it erodes the neighborhoods, all of that business. So, so they started the library, and then to honor the elder Knight, the Knight Memorial Library was built. So there's a preview party on Friday evening at 118 Princeton Avenue. And that is a wonderful, beautiful, transitional colonial building that is well over 100 years old. And so that is going to be a kickoff for the whole weekend festival that's happening in the Elmwood area. And we invite people to come. You can get tickets for that on, if you go to the PPS website, www.pps.org, and you will find the link to go to that. And really love to see you in Elmwood. And so that's the preview party. And that house is going to be one of a dozen or so houses that are going to be open the next day from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And that will be the Festival of Historic Houses. And it's a walking tour. It's kind of self-paced. Each house will have volunteers in each house that will welcome people, and you can come in and look around, and you can look at the various styles of architecture, and you can look at them through the lens of 2017. So, and you might get an idea of the variety of people who live there, of the complexity and the diversity of our neighborhood. You know, the Elmwood neighborhood is one of the most diverse neighborhoods in Providence, and partly so because we have Dorcas International there, and they're a big group that has helped to resettle refugees, and so we've had kind of different populations coming into the neighborhood and to the city from different parts of the world, both refugee and immigrant status. And let's face it, all of us were immigrants at one point, maybe except for our Native Americans, and the idea is they came walking across the Bering Strait at one point. I guess that could be refuted, but so.
And Doug, tell
yeah.
me a little bit, living there and then bringing the Festival of Historic Houses to your neighborhood. Just tell me why it's important that you think people come visit.
Well, one of the things I think it's important that you come visit, and you know,
take a look at these beautiful homes.
Take a look at the beautiful homes. Just experience a little bit of a neighborhood that has had its economic struggles, that has had its PR difficulties in the media often, and oftentimes when something goes wrong, you know, it's highlighted in the media. When something is right, it's not necessarily highlighted in the media, but I think we're really seeing a change on that. And I want to thank John Hill of the Providence Journal. He just did a great article on Sunday that highlights the Elmwood neighborhood as the neighborhood of the week, and it's just upbeat. It's forward moving. It highlights what is good about the neighborhood. And I say to people, you don't have to be afraid to come to our neighborhood. I've lived there 34 years. I'm still standing. I'll be 70 next year. I'll be standing a lot longer. And, I'm active in my neighborhood in a variety of ways. I'm out and about doing things. People know who I am. I know who people are. We have a big community there that I don't think if we live in Providence or outside Providence, we necessarily understand the inside of the neighborhood that might even be next to us.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I think it's really important for people to do that visit. You don't need a visa. You don't need a passport.
Mingle a little.
Just come on down.
Go see your neighbors.
And talk to us. And, Elmwood Avenue, we're really, really pleased that City Walk is coming in. And City Walk is an effort that has gotten a lot of traction and a lot of support. And to connect India Point Park on the east side with Roger Williams Park on the south side. Yeah. And Elmwood Avenue is going to be the longest leg of that City Walk stretch. So, we have some wonderful things coming. I think we have a lot of people coming into our neighborhood. We went through the 2008 economic crisis. We had a very high foreclosure rate. We have over 100 buildings in the Elmwood neighborhood, residences that really need a huge amount of attention, that have gone through the foreclosure process. So the recovery rate is very slow for a neighborhood that has its economic challenges and a city that has its economic challenges. So there's programs being put forward to get those houses into people's hands so that they can own them, and help to revitalize, help give people places to live, and help to revitalize the neighborhood economically, and also enrich it culturally and socially. So I think that's a really great thing.
And we have this weekend to look forward to, and hopefully give more exposure to what's happening in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And just showcase the vast amount of diversity and the beautiful homes there as well.
Absolutely.
Doug,
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you coming in today.
You are very welcome.
I'm going to let you go because I know you have to go meet a friend.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you very much.
It's been such a pleasure.
All
Doug
right.
Victor,
Take
speaking
good
on
care,
behalf
everybody.
of the Festival of Historic Houses.
Come to the tour on Saturday. Buy your tickets beforehand, $45, $55 on that day, and you're going to have a great time. Come to our book sale. We have clearance of first editions. We have clearance of mixed fiction. We have coffee table books. We have vintage clearance. We have lots of stuff
awesome.
that we're raising money for the library, Friends of Night Memorial.
And you can't beat that.
Yeah, you
really
can't beat that. And we just received notification today that the National Grassroots Endowment Fund has funded materials for a tool shed at Peace and Plenty Community Garden.
Oh, that's great.
So we're really thrilled about that.
Oh, that's amazing.
And we have Peace and Plenty Park, a beautiful little park in our neighborhood. So come to our neighborhood, experience the tour, get a map of Elmwood Avenue. We're now producing a map of Elmwood Avenue, one that hasn't existed before. So, we're moving along.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. So hopefully you can come back and fill us in on more things to come, since you're such a great spokesperson
I'll
for
be
the
happy
community.
to.
I like that. So before you go,
Thanks,
I'm going
Molly.
to take a picture with you so we can put that up on Facebook and online. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.